Hey, Wendy.
Hey, so I was actually thinking while I was listening to Shayna,
Yeah.
I thought, what in the world is Matt thinking having me following her?
Oh, come on. You bring it every time. We have great
Well,
conversations every time.
it's true. We do have good conversations, but she is so much fun.
She
And
is.
I'm glad that her little boy was talking because my dog, he
That's right.
talks.
Yeah.
And I cannot seem to control him. I have people in my house right now and he just barks.
Listen, it's real life, real people, real experiences. That's the thing about Convene, as we talk about real life.
Yes. Well, I've got it. I've got it right here.
Well, tell us about real life. Tell us about Wendy.
Yeah. Well, my name's Wendy Cook, and I work for an organization called Intersect, and we are Madison County Substance Abuse Prevention Center. So Madison County is clearly the county that I live in Indiana. And we work really hard, um, in our community to just, continue to educate those in our community about substance abuse and educate them about mental health. And we just really love the work that we do. Right now, we have several grants that we're functioning under, and I like those a lot.
Yeah.
But that's the work that I do. I am the assistant director of our organization. It is a nonprofit. Personally, I'm married. I've been
Mhm.
married for 20 years. I've got 4 kiddos,
Yeah.
um, almost 19, 17, 15, and one that just turned 10.
Yeah.
So if that tells you anything about my life.
Yeah, yeah. And I've had the chance to meet your 17-year-old, and she is a wonderful
That's
young
right.
lady. Yep, I was
Yes,
able
that's
to
right.
interview her on a
Yes,
youth panel that we'll kind of talk about that here in a few minutes. But yeah,
yes.
she is your mini me. I mean,
Oh,
she is just like you, personality
yeah.
and everything, which is great.
Yeah. So I have 4 kids. Been married 20 years. My kids are really involved. I know Matt and I have talked at different times, just throughout our relationship with Convene and my organization named Intersect, about our kids and their activities and soccer. So we had a soccer banquet last night. So that was
Yeah,
super fun.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about myself. And I live in a sweet little town called Pendleton, Indiana, if anyone's interested in looking that up. I love our town in Indiana. I'm not a big fan of Indiana's weather.
Yeah, yeah. Gets
I
cold
mean,
there.
I don't like it when it gets like this. Like right now, I love Sheena's yellow. I was like, yay!
Yeah, it gets cold up there. That's
It
right.
does.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
a beautiful place. I'm lucky enough to get to go up to the Indy 500 every
That's right.
year, and it's a
Yeah,
beautiful place, though. It really
it
is.
is. There's great things about it. And the
Cold
people
weather.
here, like I'm one of them, the people are wonderful.
Yeah.
We've got great personalities in the state of Indiana. The hospitality is out of this world, but the weather just sometimes doesn't play nice.
I've also had the chance to be there in the winter, flying when I flew Air Medical. I
Okay,
flew out of Portland, Oregon. I mean Portland,
sure.
Indiana. Portland, Indiana.
Uh-huh.
And man, it was cold. Woo, in the winter. It was miserable, cold, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and flying a couple of times. I did not like that.
No, no.
Melinda invited you to come to Florida. So just throwing that out there.
Oh, good. Thank you, Melinda. I was just there actually. I was there about 10 days ago.
How are
I
you?
went with my daughter on a senior trip.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Very
really
nice.
cool.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Um, so how in the world did you find Convene Communities?
I know, right? Like it's so random. Well, it was right before COVID hit. So last March, I was at the Drug Free America conference in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah.
And when I was there, I connected with Amy, who's the president of Drug Free America. And just it reminded me about a um, a webinar I had seen through, I think it's called the 180 Challenge. And I can't remember, Eric?
Yeah. The 108 challenge. Yeah.
108 Challenge, yes. Eric had been on a live webinar with you,
Yeah.
right? And so I gave him a call after I came back from Tampa, and I was like, "Hey, I saw that because it was kind of like right at the beginning of the whole March.
Yeah, it was
The
right.
Tampa thing was in February. In March, he hosted his 108 challenge, and we were just trying to figure out the whole COVID situation and how were we going to move forward with a lot of our initiatives. Because, like I mentioned, we function within our organization. I think we have 4 or 5 grants, and one of them is a federal grant. And so, how are we going to move forward with all of our goals and objectives,
Yeah,
right? Because we can't meet in person, and everything we do is in person.
yeah, you got shut down.
Yes. So I gave Eric a call. I had met him through the Tampa conference, the Drug Free America
Yeah,
conference. Of course, he didn't remember me because it was
yeah.
a while back. But I gave him a call, and he said, "Hey, you need to reach out to this guy, this great guy, Matt. He's with Convene Community." So
Glad you threw a
really, that's
great guy in there because he probably say, you reach out to this dude, you know. No, I'm just kidding. Eric
no.
said,
I mean, he was just
yeah,
building you up and saying how great you were. And I can't remember if I had fallen upon the webinar or if he had told me about the webinar and then I tuned in. I can't remember. But before I spoke to you, I had seen how his webinar had taken place.
yeah,
And I loved what I saw. And I just really quickly just kind of jumped on that bus.
yeah. Yeah, and didn't you watch? We had another webinar. Didn't you watch some of the Christian webinar? Or yeah, yeah,
Yeah, there was another one. I don't remember the name of the webinar or who the lady was, but I had seen the 108 challenge, and then I was like, I spoke with you, and you said, "Hey, why don't you check out this one?" And they were different,
yeah,
and
completely.
so that was good for me because I was able to see one that was kind of, I think the 108 challenge was maybe
As
all
all,
at once.
yeah, drug prevention and everything.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
then there was a different one, and the interview style was maybe slightly different. And so then you and I talked about, hey, how would you like to move forward with your summit? Because we actually hosted a summit along with Convene, and it was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And that was so that's it. Yeah, that's how we met. It was really actually pretty cool. Um, you know, where that's how we met. We did the Wellness Summit, we did the Entrepreneurs Unite Summit, we did the Christian Summit. And I think you watched a little bit of one of those. I can't remember which one.
I
Um,
did.
and then we continued talking, and we just started that relationship between Convene and Intersect. And that's why this section of this interview is really important, because you guys are a nonprofit, and it just shows how a nonprofit can come into Convene and have a community inside of Convene for free.
Yes.
Nonprofits are always free. And then also, you guys, we did a online virtual summit, and all of that now is a paid course inside of your Intersect community that people can still continue to go to, and they can continue to get paid CEUs for the state of Indiana, continuing education credits for the state of Indiana through that particular group within inside of your community.
And I hope it's okay that I mentioned, maybe you've already got it written down, but, and because of that relationship that we built, and because of that success that we found within that summit, now we've already
Yes.
started a conversation about another event that we're going to host in February.
Yep.
And like you said, Matt, we are a nonprofit. So our funding is limited, right? But every single time we've had a conversation, it's always worked within our budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hope using the word affordable is
Yeah. That's
fair.
fine. Yep.
Okay,
Absolutely.
but it's been affordable, and it's been something that has worked with our budget. And so our next big event that we're going to host, we haven't signed anything yet, but we're going to move forward with it. I don't even know if I've told you. But our next event that we're going to host alongside with Matt is an event with one of our schools.
Yeah.
And this event is called Madison County Cares, and it's going to be focused on mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And how I pitched it to the school was just like what you just said. I said, hey, this is going to be great. We're going to be able to say, hey, on February 9th, we're hosting this event, and all the parents could come in the privacy of their own home and view our
Yeah.
speakers. And if they don't have time for it that day, it's all good. It lives on.
Yeah.
And so, and the school loved that,
Yeah.
because as everyone that's with us today knows, when you're working, whether it's with an employee, employers, parents in the community, our schedules are tight,
Yeah, they're busy.
right? Yeah. So whether you're viewing it live on Facebook or whatever, or you decide it's 10 o'clock at night and you just want to chill out and get some resources for your kids on a random Saturday, you could do it both ways.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. It's going to be such a good summit. It's not as big as the one we did for you guys, but it's such a important topic, mental health, and for parents and teachers and that high school area, and it's going to be able to go out. It's for the county, right? It's for the school,
Yep.
and so everybody can have access to it. It's going to be really cool. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be neat.
I am too, and it'll be free.
Yeah.
Like it'll be free coming from us. So, and honestly, as we're talking about the Convene communities and the platform of this, if someone that's watching today decides, hey, I need some mental health resources, they can jump on, and in the community they can just check it out.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the things that I've already found that I really appreciate and like about the Convene communities platform, because through this COVID thing, we're missing out on networking.
Yeah, we are. We truly.
Right. So, of course, I have networking that kind of takes place on Facebook, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
This is a lot of professional things that are happening within the Convene communities. And so we can hop on there and we can network with other organizations and find out what other communities have going on.
Yeah, and it's really cool. Just let's go to think about the Intersect event. I mean, the speakers that y'all had 6 amazing speakers all the way from Amy down in Florida, Sam Anthony. It was really good. Daryl, and what's pretty cool is some of those relationships have lived on for me. Sam Anthony wants to he's starting a community for kids, for high school kids. Yeah, and so that's going to be really exciting. I need to follow. We were going to follow up last week. I need to follow up this week. But that's that networking piece that you're talking about. I would have never met Sam Anthony if it wasn't for you.
Right.
And and for him, he's having to make a pivot because how he makes a living and the things that Sam did was to go in and speak. He's a speaker inside of schools. Well, guess what he can't do right now? He can't go inside of schools and speak. So he's having to pivot until we get back to normal life. And I think that that's really cool and really important. But it's that networking piece that you're talking about that's really just so important that we're able to take advantage of and do here. It's just cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah. So no, it's been such you guys are wonderful, Carissa and Jen. I'm actually supposed to have a talk with Jen, and we're going to go over some more of the group and look at some of the data. We talked the other day about kind of linking back up so she could just get some of the numbers and look at it and how many people have taken it. Let's look at the data, the questions and stuff like that. So I think that'll be kind of fun just to kind of go back and look at that.
You're talking about data. When we had a follow-up meeting following our drug summit, you guys are great because so much of what we need to report back to our grants and to our funders, boom, it was already available, and we didn't have to go in and dig deep for the data because it was just there. And I don't know if it was Melinda or who it was that made it look all beautiful in the charts and the graphs.
I did that part. Yeah. Our programmer. Yeah. I think it's wonderful. I think it's one of the best things that we have is our testing center and not only our testing center, but our surveys, our testing center. First, you get printouts of who took the test, what grade they got on the test. And then if I want to go back and look at somebody specifically that took the test, let's say Melinda, Melinda took the test because she did take it, but I can go back and look at just Melinda and see what questions she got right and what questions she got wrong. And then we can go to the testing center. So, I can't remember, there's like 40 people or 40 plus people that have taken the test because they had to take a test to get their continuing education for your summit. But we can see what everybody, like how many people got it right, how many people got it wrong, how many people answered what right and wrong. And it's broken out in this beautiful graph, thanks to Todd. So you can print all that out. And then you get the surveys, and the surveys have graphs. How many people answered A, how many people answered B, see, and you get like a bar graphs, and then you can have open-ended questions. So you get those comments back, which is pretty cool.
Well, and so, and what is so important in my mind is if you're a nonprofit and you're tuning in, or you're someone that maybe you're a nonprofit on the side, it's super important because those are things that our grants require from us.
Yeah.
Right. And so the summit that you're speaking of, it was a paid event.
Yeah.
And people, like you said, was able to get continuing education hours with a certificate. Awesome. But this next event that we're going to host is going to be free,
Yeah.
right? And we will still have surveys that will have people take, but it will just be voluntary. Like
Yeah.
that'll be up to the people. So 2 different events, but I know for certain both events are going to be successful for us.
Yeah, sure. It's really cool. It's really
Mhm.
cool. And it's so like this particular event right here, every single speaker will get broken out in their individual experience. So every one of them, these will all be individual experiences. And that's a key. So this is a summit within itself. So for summits,
Yes.
when we do summits, just like we did for Intersect, we take each speaker, we break it out, we make them into experiences, and then we can put it, into a group. And that makes it so it's evergreen. It lives on. People can go back and see.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that for us is super valuable with this whole collaboration, like with our organization, joining up with you guys, because it'll just be great. Like coming up, in a couple months, maybe we'll post and let people know, hey, you need CEUs, check this out. And
you didn't see it, go check it out.
To pull in some other funding. So from that,
I
with speakers that we've already connected with. So it's great.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Wendy, thank you for coming on. I think that, like I said, and I tell you this all the time, you and your whole Intersect team, I mean, and I know my team because you've worked with Shayna, you've worked with Melinda, Carrie.
Yes.
It's been
we love everyone.
Yeah, it's just been a wonderful experience working with you guys. We are so happy to have this relationship with Intersect. And again, I say it to everybody that's been on, or I've said it to other people, it's more than just the Convene Intersect. We've become friends, all, and that's what's so much fun, is that just linking up, becoming friends.
And I mean, since you put that plug in, Melinda's invites will get even better.
That's right. We're all going to Florida. Tampa.
Melinda,
Especially
I'll be messaging you. I know we've not met in person, but this is about as good as it gets right now, right?
That's it. It's it. You talk over Zoom, and then you're friends, and so you go and have a.
I just have to share this real quick. Like my mom is dating a really nice guy. His name's Bruce, and he came over before we did this, and I said, "Hey, Bruce, I need the house to be really quiet because I have this on-air thing I'm doing." And I said, "Have you heard of Zoom?" He said, "No." "Have you heard of YouTube?" "No." Like they're like 65, so they. So just even trying to explain this relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, I'm going to be on TV. That's all I don't know what else to tell you.
I'm going to be on TV. That's it.
But just the relationship. I do feel like we all have a friendship. So just going back to that, and I totally agree.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. It's because the people in Indiana are so nice. That's what it is.
I think so.
And North Carolina. That's right.
That's right. That's right. In Florida.
That's it. In Florida. That's right.